Commander Do-hyun Kim stood at the control center of the deep-sea research vessel Ocean Guardian *. He watched the main screen as their underwater drone descended deeper into the Mariana Trench. The water outside was pitch black, lit only by the drone's powerful lights. Reaching 8,000 meters depth, Commander, reported Officer Soo-jin Ryo from her station. Her fingers moved quickly across the control panel, keeping the drone steady against the strong underwater currents. Do-hyun nodded, his eyes fixed on the screen. This mission was different from their usual patrols. 3 days ago, their sensors had detected something strange at the bottom of the trench, a large object that gave off energy readings unlike anything they had seen before. 9,000 meters, Soo-jin announced. The drone's lights revealed strange shapes in the darkness below. At first, they looked like rocks, but as the drone got closer, Do-hyun saw that they were too smooth and regular to be natural. "Stop the descent," Do-hyun ordered. "Move in closer to that structure on the left." The drone's lights showed a massive metal wall covered in strange symbols. Despite being underwater for what must have been thousands of years, the surface was barely damaged. It looked almost new. "Sir, I'm detecting high energy readings," said Chief Engineer Hai-jin Cho. She adjusted her glasses as she studied her instruments. "The metal. It's not from Earth. We've never seen anything like this before." Do-hyun's heart beat faster. After 15 years in the Earth Defense Force, he had seen many strange things, but this was different. "Send the scanning drone," he commanded. A smaller drone emerged from the main one. It moved along the wall, recording every detail. As it moved, more of the structure became visible. It wasn't just a wall. It was part of something much bigger. "Sir," Soo-jin's voice was excited. "Look at this." The drone's camera focused on a new area. There, half buried in the seafloor, was what looked like a door. Next to it was a panel covered in glowing symbols. "It's still powered after all this time," Hai-jin whispered in amazement. "The energy readings are getting stronger." Do-hyun made a quick decision. "Launch the research pod. I'm going down there myself." "Commander, that's not safe," Hai-jin protested. "We don't know what." "That's an order," Do-hyun said firmly. "Prepare the pod." 20 minutes later, Do-hyun sat in the small research pod as it descended through the dark water. The pod was designed for deep-sea exploration, but it had never been tested at this depth. Through the thick window, he could see the massive structure getting closer. When the pod reached the seafloor, Do-hyun put on his pressure suit. With careful movements, he left the pod. The suits were new technology, designed to withstand extreme pressure, but they had never been used this deep before. Do-hyun walked slowly across the seafloor toward the glowing panel. Each step kicked up clouds of sand that floated away in the dark water. When he reached the panel, he saw that the symbols were similar to writing, but unlike any language on Earth. Following his training, Do-hyun took out a small device and held it over the panel. The device was designed to interact with unknown technology. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the panel lit up brighter, and the door began to move. Sand and rocks fell away as the ancient door slowly opened. Behind it was a chamber, and inside, Do-hyun saw something that made him freeze. The chamber was filled with objects that looked like weapons, but they were far more advanced than anything on Earth. And on the walls were pictures that showed the same weapons being used against massive spaceships. But what really caught his attention was a large screen on the far wall. As he watched, it came to life, showing a map of Earth. Around the planet were thousands of small dots, each representing a destroyed alien fleet. Earth wasn't just their home. It was a graveyard of alien civilizations that had tried to conquer it. "Base, are you seeing this?" Do-hyun's voice was barely a whisper. "We see it, Commander," Soo-jin replied through his radio. "What do you think it means?" Do-hyun looked at the ancient weapons, the map of Earth, and the countless dots representing destroyed alien fleets. "It means," he said slowly, "that we're not alone." and Earth has been protecting itself long before humans existed. As if responding to his words, more screens in the chamber began to light up, revealing secrets that had been hidden for thousands of years at the bottom of the ocean. Dr. Na-Young Park sat in her laboratory at the Earth Defense Force headquarters, studying the images from the underwater chamber. For 3 days straight, she had barely slept, too excited by what Commander Do-hyun's team had found. "Play the recording again," she said to her computer. On the large screen in front of her, the strange symbols from the underwater chamber appeared once more. They glowed with a soft blue light that seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. Na-Young had studied alien languages for 15 years, but these symbols were different. They changed and moved, almost as if they were alive. She took another sip of her coffee and leaned closer to the screen. "There's a pattern here," she muttered to herself, marking certain symbols that appeared more often than others. "It's not just writing, it's a code." Suddenly, her computer made a strange sound. The symbols on the screen began to rearrange themselves. Na-Young's hands flew across her keyboard, trying to record everything she saw. The symbols were grouping themselves into new patterns. "Professor Lee," she called out to her assistant who was working nearby. "Come look at this." Young Professor Bo-Ram Lee hurried over, his eyes widening as he watched the symbols move. "How is this possible?" he asked. "The recording shouldn't be able to change itself." "It's not just a recording," Na-Young replied, her voice filled with excitement. "It's responding to us, to our computers, our language, our presence." She typed in a simple greeting, and the symbols shifted again. Suddenly, the entire screen filled with light. When it cleared, they saw a face. Not a human face, but something alien. It had large, dark eyes and skin that seemed to shimmer like metal. When it spoke, its words were translated into text at the bottom of the screen. "If you are seeing this message, you have reached the necessary level of technology to access our warning," the alien said. Its voice was deep and musical. "I am the last survivor of the stellar Concordat, and what I must tell you is of great importance." Na-Young quickly pressed the record button on her computer. The alien continued speaking. "Your world is not what it appears to be. Earth, as you call it, is far more than a simple planet. Those who see it from space believe it to be a primitive world, easy to conquer. That is exactly what it wants them to think." The screen changed to show images of massive spaceships approaching Earth. The ships were beautiful and powerful, but as they got closer to the planet, they simply disappeared. "1,000 empires have tried to claim Earth," the alien said. "1,000 empires have failed. My civilization was one of the last to try. We thought we were ready. We thought our technology was strong enough. We were wrong." More images appeared, huge fleets of ships being destroyed by something invisible, entire armies vanishing without a trace. Na-Young watched in amazement as the story of Earth's secret history played out before her. "The truth must be known," the alien continued. "Earth is protected. Something ancient sleeps within your world, something that existed long before your species began to walk upright. It guards this planet and all life that grows here. We never understood why." Na-Young's hands shook as she typed a question. "Why are you telling us this now?" The alien's face showed what might have been a sad smile. "Because you are ready to know, and because others are coming. The Wang dynasty has noticed your world, and they will not heed our warnings. They never do." The screen flickered, and more text appeared. "Look deeper. The chamber where you found this message contains more than just warnings. It contains knowledge. Knowledge that was left for your species to find when you were ready. Use it wisely. Learn from our mistakes." The alien's face began to fade. "Remember, Earth is not defenseless. It is not primitive. It is the graveyard of 1,000 alien empires, and soon the Wang dynasty will learn why." As the message ended, Na-Young sat back in her chair, her mind racing. She needed to contact Commander Do-hyun immediately. What they had discovered wasn't just an alien artifact. It was a warning about Earth's true nature and about a threat that was heading their way. "Boram," she said quietly, "call the commander. Tell him it's urgent. We're not just dealing with ancient history anymore. We're dealing with a very current threat." As Boram hurried to make the call, Nayam looked back at her screen. The alien symbols had returned to their original pattern, but now she saw them differently. They weren't just writing. They were a key to understanding Earth's greatest secret. Supreme Commander Jeho Wang stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Star Crusher. Through the large viewing window, he watched his fleet prepare for the jump to Earth's solar system. 5,000 ships, each one powerful enough to destroy a small moon, filled the space around him. "Supreme Commander," said Fleet Captain Yuri Song, approaching with a data tablet. "The scout ships have returned with their final report about Earth." Jeho took the tablet and studied the images. The blue planet looked peaceful and primitive. His sensors showed only basic space technology, a few small satellites, some primitive space stations, and simple rockets. Nothing that could stop the mighty Wang dynasty. "What a beautiful world," Jeho said softly. "Soon it will be ours." "Sir," Yuri hesitated before speaking again. "The research division has found something concerning. They discovered ancient records about Earth. Other empires have tried to conquer it before. None of them succeeded." Jeho laughed. "Those empires were weak. We are strong. Look at our fleet, Captain. Look at our weapons. No primitive planet can stand against us." "But sir," the records show. "Enough." Jeho's voice was sharp. "I did not lead the Wang dynasty to greatness by listening to old stories and warnings. Earth is perfect for our people. It has water, good air, and rich resources. We will take it." Yuri bowed and stepped back, but her face showed worry. She had read all the reports about Earth. Something about that planet was not right, but she knew better than to argue with the Supreme Commander. In his private command room, Jeho reviewed the invasion plans. The first wave would destroy Earth's primitive defenses. The second wave would target their major cities. The third wave would begin landing troops. Simple, quick, and effective. His computer screen flashed with a message. "Supreme Commander, urgent report from Scout Ship 7. Jeho opened the message. Scout Ship 7 had been monitoring Earth's deep oceans. They had detected strange energy readings coming from something very old and very powerful at the bottom of their deepest trench. "Interesting," Jeho muttered. He sent orders for more scans of the ocean floor. If Earth had valuable ancient technology, that was even better. His empire would take that too. On the other side of the ship, in the science division, Chief Researcher Dehai Baek worked late into the night. She had found something in the old records that frightened her. The previous empires that attacked Earth hadn't just failed, they had vanished completely. Thousands of ships and millions of soldiers, gone without a trace. Dehai wrote a report about her findings and sent it to Fleet Captain Yuri. She knew the Supreme Commander wouldn't read it, but maybe Yuri could convince him to be more careful. "All ships, prepare for light speed." Jeho's voice came through the ship's speakers. "Today we begin our greatest conquest. The Earth will fall, and the Long Dynasty will rule a new territory." The huge fleet began to move. 5,000 ships, carrying 2 million soldiers, all heading toward Earth. Their weapons were charged. Their soldiers were ready. Victory seemed certain. But in her office, Dehai looked at one last piece of information from the old records. It was a simple message, written by someone who had tried to invade Earth long ago. "Beware the sleeping guardian. What seems weak is strong. What seems primitive is ancient. Earth is not a prize to be taken. It is a trap that has ended 1,000 empires." Dehai saved the message, closed her computer, and went to her sleeping quarters. As she felt the ship jump to light speed, she wondered if she would ever see her home again. The Long Dynasty was powerful, but Earth's long history suggested that power alone was not enough. In his command room, Supreme Commander Jeho smiled as his fleet raced through space. Soon, very soon, Earth would be his greatest conquest. Or so he thought. Researcher Han Sol Lee worked in the deep underground facility beneath Earth Defense Force headquarters. The facility housed the most powerful computers on Earth, and for the past week, they had been acting strangely. Numbers changed by themselves. Programs ran without commands. Screens showed messages in unknown languages. "The system is doing it again," Han Sol said to his computer. On his screen, complex calculations appeared and disappeared faster than he could read them. The computer's cooling fans worked harder and harder. His phone rang. It was Commander Do-hyun Kim. "Han Sol, are you seeing this? Every computer system on Earth is behaving oddly. Something is happening." "Yes, Commander. I think it's connected to what we found in the ocean." Han Sol typed quickly, trying to track the strange signals. "The energy readings from the underwater chamber are getting stronger. And there's something else." Han Sol's voice trailed off as his main screen went black. Then new images appeared. They showed the inside of Earth, but not like any diagram he had seen before. The planet's core wasn't just hot metal. It was a massive machine. "Commander," Han Sol whispered, "you need to see this." Within an hour, Commander Do-hyun and Dr. Na-young Park arrived at Han Sol's laboratory. They watched as the images revealed Earth's greatest secret. The ancient machine filled the planet's core, spreading through the mantle like roots of a great tree. "It's a defense system," Na-young said, her eyes wide with wonder. "The aliens who built this, they turned the entire planet into a fortress." More images appeared. They showed how the machine used Earth's magnetic field as a sensor, watching for approaching threats. It could create powerful energy shields. It could hide the planet's true nature from alien scans. It had protected Earth for billions of years. But why? Do-hyun asked. Why protect Earth? The answer appeared on their screens in clear text. Earth is an experiment, a garden where life can grow freely. We created this system to protect developing species until they were ready to protect themselves. Han Sol read through the data flowing across his screens. The original builders, they're gone now. But they left this system to guard their experiment. That's why so many alien empires disappeared when they tried to invade. The Guardian system destroyed them. Suddenly, all the screens in the facility turned red. Warning messages flashed everywhere. Han Sol's computer showed a massive fleet of ships entering the solar system. The Wang dynasty had arrived. "The Guardian system is activating," Han Sol reported. His hands moved quickly over his keyboard. "It's preparing to destroy the invasion fleet, just like it destroyed all the others." But then something unexpected happened. The Guardian system, which they now knew was called the Curator, did not attack. Instead, it sent a message to Earth's leaders. "You have reached the necessary level of development. You must now choose. Do you want our protection, or are you ready to protect yourselves?" Do-hyun, Na-young, and Han Sol looked at each other. The choice seemed simple. Let the ancient system defend Earth as it had always done. But they all understood what this moment meant. This was humanity's chance to stand on its own. "We need to call an emergency meeting," Do-hyun said. "All world leaders must decide together. The Wang dynasty is coming, and for the first time in Earth's history, we have a choice about how to face them." As they hurried to contact world leaders, Han Sol stayed at his computer, studying the Guardian system's data. The Curator had protected Earth for billions of years. Now it was offering to share its knowledge with humanity. The question was, were they ready for such power? The screen showed the Wang dynasty's fleet getting closer. Time was running out. Earth had to make its choice. The United Nations emergency meeting room was full. Leaders from every country sat around the large table, watching as Commander Do-hyun Kim and Dr. Na-young Park presented their findings about the Curator. On the big screens around them, they could see the Wang dynasty's fleet moving closer to Earth. "The ancient defense system has protected Earth for billions of years," Do-hyun explained. "It has defeated every alien invasion attempt. Now it offers us a choice: continue under its protection, or learn to protect ourselves. Military strategist Taiwan Kang stood up. He was a tall man with gray hair and serious eyes. "We should take control of our own defense," he said firmly. "Earth has been like a child under this machine's protection. It's time for us to grow up." "That's too dangerous," argued Secretary Chan Mei-o from the Science Division. "The Wang Dynasty has 5,000 warships. We have nothing that can fight them. We need the Curator's protection." The room filled with worried voices as people argued. On the screens, they could see the alien fleet getting closer. They had only hours to decide. The Curator's message appeared on all screens. "If you choose independence, we will share our knowledge. You will learn to use our technology, but you must face the coming threat yourselves." Na-young stepped forward. "The Curator isn't just offering protection. It's offering us a chance to join the galactic community as equals, not as a protected species." She looked around the room. "Yes, it's risky, but this is our moment to prove ourselves." "What if we fail?" someone asked. "The Curator will still be here," Do-hyun answered. "It's not abandoning us. It's giving us a chance to stand on our own feet. But we must decide now." Taiwan brought up a map showing Earth's defenses. "With the Curator's knowledge, we could transform our military in hours. We have the factories. We have the people. We just need the technology." The room grew quiet as everyone thought about the choice: stay safe under the Curator's protection, or risk everything for independence. Finally, Director Sun Mayun of the Earth Defense Force stood up. She was usually quiet, but when she spoke, people listened. "Throughout human history," she said, "we have faced moments like this. Moments when we had to choose between safety and growth." She pointed to the screens showing the alien fleet. "The Wang Dynasty thinks we are weak. They think we are primitive. Let's show them who we really are." The vote was quick. Every leader raised their hand in favor of independence. As soon as the decision was made, the Curator began sending data to Earth's computers. Plans for advanced weapons, shield technology, and space drives appeared on screens worldwide. In factories across Earth, machines began building new technology. The Curator's knowledge mixed with human innovation. Workers rushed to prepare defenses as the alien fleet came closer. "Commander," Hansol called from his computer station. "The Wang Dynasty will reach Earth in 6 hours." Do-hyun nodded. "Then we have 6 hours to prepare for our first real fight." He turned to Na-young. "Contact all military bases. Tell them to prepare for the biggest upgrade in human history." As everyone rushed to work, Director Sunmei looked at the approaching fleet on the main screen. "This is humanity's moment," she said quietly. "We're not hiding behind our guardian anymore. We're standing up for ourselves." The choice was made. Now they had to prove they made the right one. Engineer Min-ji Choi worked quickly in the main factory of the Earth Defense Force. Around her, machines built new weapons and defense systems using the Curator's designs. The factory floor glowed with blue light as advanced technology took shape. "Status report." Director Sun Mayun called from the observation platform above. Min-jae looked up from her work. "The shield generators are ready. We've upgraded 20% of our military vessels with new engines and weapons." She checked her tablet. 4 hours until the Wang Dynasty arrives. Sun Mi nodded. All across Earth, similar factories were running at full speed. The Curator's knowledge was changing everything. Old satellites transformed into powerful defense platforms. Simple rockets became space warships. Even their computers were different now. "Director," Min-ji called out, "you should see this." She pressed some buttons on her control panel. A hologram appeared, showing Earth's new defense network. Thousands of satellites now formed a protective web around the planet. Each one carried weapons that could stop alien ships. "How many ships can we field?" Sunmei asked. 300. Min-ji brought up another display. "They're not as big as the alien ships, but they have better technology. The Curator's designs are far advanced." In orbit above Earth, Commander Do-hyun Kim watched from the bridge of humanity's first real warship. The ship had been a simple space station yesterday. Now it was the flagship of Earth's defense fleet. All systems are operational, reported Officer Soo-jin Ryu. She sat at her new control panel, learning to use technology that hadn't existed hours ago. The crew is adapting well to the new systems. Do-hyun touched the ship's wall. It felt alive, humming with power from the curator's technology. "Send the readiness signal to all ships," he ordered. "Begin fleet formation practice." On the ground, Dr. Na-young Park worked with the curator's communication systems. They had found a way to talk to the alien fleet, but they needed the right words. "We should warn them," she told her team. "Give them a chance to turn back." She recorded a message in the Wang dynasty's language, explaining that Earth was no longer defenseless. In his office, military strategist Taiwan Kang studied the new battle plans. The curator had given them more than weapons. It had given them knowledge of space warfare. He learned tactics that alien armies had used for millions of years. "The Wang dynasty expects an easy fight," he said to his staff. "They think we're primitive. That advantage is ours." 3 hours before the alien fleet would arrive, Director Sun Mei called all Earth's leaders together again. The meeting room looked different now. Advanced displays showed their defenses. Everyone could see the approaching fleet. "We've done in hours what should have taken years," Sun Mei said. "But this is more than just using new technology. This is our moment to show the galaxy what humans can do." Minji's voice came through the speakers. "Final weapons systems are online. All ships report ready. Shield network is at full power." Do-hyun's voice followed from orbit. "Fleet is in position. All crews are trained on the new systems. We're ready." Sun Mei looked at the room full of leaders. Just hours ago, they had chosen independence. Now they would face the consequences of that choice. "Send the message to the Wang dynasty," she ordered. "Tell them that Earth is not what they think it is. Tell them that we are ready." The message went out into space. Now they would wait to see how Supreme Commander Jae-ho responded to finding that his easy target had very sharp teeth. Supreme Commander Jae-ho Wang stood on his bridge, staring at the display in disbelief. Earth had changed. Instead of a helpless planet with primitive technology, his scanner showed advanced defense systems and warships in orbit. "Impossible," he whispered. "They were primitive just days ago." "Sir," Fleet Captain Yuri-song reported, "we're receiving a message from Earth." Dr. Na-young Park's voice filled the alien ship's bridge. "This is Earth Defense Force. We know why you came. We know what you planned. We give you one chance to turn back." Jae-ho laughed, but there was worry in his eyes. "They think a few ships and some stolen technology can stop us. Launch the first attack wave. Show them the power of the Wang dynasty." 1,000 alien ships moved forward, their weapons charged. They expected an easy victory. They were wrong. Commander Do-hyun Kim watched from Earth's flagship as the alien ships approached. "All ships, hold position," he ordered. "Wait for them to enter the shield network's range." The alien ships fired their weapons. Massive energy beams shot toward Earth. But when they hit the shield network, something strange happened. The shields didn't just block the attacks. They absorbed them. "Return fire," Do-hyun commanded. Earth's defense satellites activated. They used the absorbed energy from the alien attacks to power their own weapons. Beams of light struck the alien ships, cutting through their shields like they weren't there. "Impossible," Jae-ho shouted as he watched 20 of his ships explode. "Their weapons, they're using our own energy against us." "Sir," Yuri reported, "Earth ships are attacking our flanks. Their technology, it's more advanced than ours." In orbit, Do-hyun led Earth's fleet in a complex battle pattern. The smaller Earth ships moved faster than the alien vessels, striking quickly and disappearing before the aliens could respond. On the ground, Minji Choi monitored the shield network. "Energy absorption at 60%, she reported. "We can power the main defense cannon now." Director Sun Mayum gave the order. Fire the cannon. A massive beam of energy shot up from Earth's surface. It split into hundreds of smaller beams, each one targeting the different alien ship. When the light faded, 200 alien ships were gone. Supreme Commander, Yuri said urgently, "We've lost a quarter of our fleet. Their weapons are too strong. We should retreat." But Jai-Ho wouldn't listen. "Send in all ships. We will not be defeated by these primitives." The remaining alien ships charged forward. The space around Earth filled with weapons fire and explosions, but Earth's defenses held strong. Na-young watched from her communication center. "They're not going to retreat," she told Do-hyun through the comm system. "They're going to keep fighting until they're all destroyed." Do-hyun made a decision. "Target their command ship," he ordered. "Disable it, but don't destroy it. Maybe then they'll listen." Earth's ships surrounded the Star Crusher, Jai-Ho's flagship. Their weapons struck with surgical precision, destroying its engines and weapons, but leaving the crew alive. "Supreme Commander," Yuri said softly, "we've lost. Please, save the rest of our people." Jai-Ho stared at the Earth ships surrounding his vessel. His mighty fleet was in ruins. The primitives had defeated them with their own technology turned against them. Finally, he gave the order. "All ships, stand down. Send the surrender signal." The battle was over. Earth had won its first space battle, proving that humanity could stand on its own. But Na-young was already working on a peace treaty. They didn't want to destroy the Wang dynasty. They wanted to show the galaxy a better way. The sun rose over the quiet town. Everyone was still asleep in their beds, but something was different on this morning. Strange things were about to happen. Jim woke up first. He yawned and stretched his arms over his head. He rubbed the sleep from his eyes. Then he noticed it. His arm looked funny. He brought it closer to his face. His eyes grew wide. Scales, green scales, covered his skin. He jumped out of bed. He ran to the mirror. It was true. Patches of shiny scales covered his arms and legs. They sparkled in the morning light. Jim didn't know what to think. Was he turning into some kind of creature? He decided to see if anyone else had the same problem. Jim threw on pants and a shirt. The shirt stretched tight over his scaly skin. He opened his front door. What he saw shocked him. His neighbor, Mrs. Anderson, floated by. She waved at him, but she had no legs. A long fishtail hung below her waist. It shimmered with purple scales. "Morning, Jim," she called. "Notice anything strange today?" She flicked her tail and swam through the air. She did a graceful flip over Jim's head. Yes, I guess so," Jim stammered. This was all so unreal. Down the street, more neighbors came out of their houses. They all had animal parts. Mr. Simmons had the torso of a horse. Carla from next door had a pig snout. The Thompson twins hopped by on kangaroo legs. Everyone chattered in surprise and confusion. Jim felt his stomach rumble. Even with this craziness, he was hungry. He walked to the donut shop. On the way, he passed people with wings, horns, and tails. A school of fish people swam through the sky. A herd of centaurs galloped down Main Street. At the donut shop, a girl with antenna took Jim's order. "Crazy day, huh?" she said. Her huge bug eyes blinked at him. "What do you think happened to us?" "I have no idea," said Jim. His donut had pink frosting and sprinkles. He was about to eat it, but then he noticed his hands. The green scales had spread. His fingers were webbed. Claws tipped each one. The donut fell to the floor. Jim raced outside. Was he dreaming? Would this strangeness end? He looked to the sky for answers. But the clouds had faces. They looked down at the town of animal people, and they laughed. To be continued.